Hey guys, Sir Ice Cream here, and today I'm making a video that's more of just a podcast type video with the gameplay in the background. So it's just kind of an explanation of essentially what Dauntless is and how it came to be and how it could potentially evolve what is now a genre, no longer just a game series. Because what the game essentially is it's the core of Monster Hunter. Now, if you don't know what Monster Hunter is, you are not alone. Monster Hunter is one of Capcom's biggest franchises over in Japan. It's not so big in America, but they're working on it. With everyone's probably heard of the new Monster Hunter World game, but that, to a lot of people's astonishment, is not the first Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter came out about 9, 10 years ago on the PlayStation 2, at least here in America. And essentially, what Dauntless is the core gameplay of Monster Hunter. And you just go around, you see a big monster, you go kill it, you get its parts, you make gear, you make armor, you make weapons. It's really fun and an engaging type of RPG, one that really hasn't been tapped by the global market. It's more of just been Capcom making a game series. Monster Hunter has never really been a genre. It's just, hey, what game are you playing? It's Monster Hunter. You know what it is because you know what game it is, but it's not Capcom making Monster Hunter and then Activision is making a game like Monster Hunter and then, hey, look over there, Infinity Ward is making a game like Monster Hunter, even though Infinity Ward doesn't exist. I'm just saying, like, there's Capcom only. But now, Dauntless is here from Phoenix Labs. Phoenix Labs has decided, hey, this is an untapped market over in America because Capcom is really hesitant to bring the game over here. Yeah, they have a few games, but they have a vast majority of all the Monster Hunter games over in Japan. So, how it differs from Monster Hunter, obviously story-wise, they can't have the same story, but the story, the lore and the story-driven mechanics of the game are about on par. There really isn't a story in either of the games. It's more just, hey, there's a big monster, there's a big behemoth over there, you need to go kill it. So, the Dauntless game is there was a world that was shattered by an energy called ether or aether, depending on who you are, right? Everyone's going to pronounce it differently because it's just spelled so funky. But so the world got shattered, and part of the world is now floating in the air. And islands are being kept up in the air due to ether. And the giant behemoths are on these islands eating the ether. So they can absorb it in their bodies, but the bad thing is once the ether on the island runs out, then the island's going to come crashing down, killing a lot of people. So you, as a slayer, can't let that happen. So you have to go and you have to go kill this behemoth before the island falls. And how the biggest way it differs from Monster Hunter is that it's really far behind Monster Hunter, which is understandable. Monster Hunter has been around for years and years. It's been almost 10 years since the first Monster Hunter came out, and so they had 10 years ahead. So what this is the starting of something potentially great, and it just kind of scratches the surface of what it is. You have your buddies, you go and you go kill a giant behemoth or a monster. And some of the challenges that Dauntless is going to have to face is everyone's going to be comparing it to Monster Hunter. Some people are trying to compare it to Dark Souls, and yeah, there's a little bit of comparison to Dark Souls, but if you hear someone comparing Dauntless to Dark Souls, and then you go, yeah, I'm a big Dark Souls fan, so if they're saying Dauntless is like Dark Souls, you go into Dauntless expecting it to be Dark Souls, you're going to be really disappointed because Dauntless is a great game, but it's not like Dauntless. It's not like Dark Souls. It's like when you are taking a drink of something and you have it in your mind that it's a glass of milk, but in reality, it is a drink of soda. So when you put the glass to your mouth and you start drinking, it will taste like the most messed up glass of milk you've ever had in your life. So trying to compare Dauntless to Dark Souls is a bad comparison. There are slight mechanics and there are slight things that are comparable, but most of the time it's you need to compare Dauntless to Monster Hunter because now that there are two games out, it could technically be considered a genre, right? It's no longer just a game series. And it's an amazing thing because this opens up a lot of potential in other companies if they see, hey, Phoenix Labs is doing really good work and Phoenix Labs is getting a great reception with this game. Hey, we should probably jump on this bandwagon and start making our own type of game, which is essentially how MOBAs came to be. Dota, obviously, from the Warcraft 3 map maker, exploded into this amazing thing. And it was just one company deciding, hey, this is an untapped market. This game is awesome. Let's make it. And then another company saw it. Hey, let's make ours, and so on and so on. And now you have so many MOBAs. It's kind of overwhelming. So I'm thinking, not thinking, I'm hoping that that could be what happens to the Dauntless / Monster Hunter genre. It's the beast slaying genre, I guess. And right now, there's a lot of people who are big fans of Monster Hunter looking at Dauntless and they're not really sure. And they need something to scratch that itch until Monster Hunter World comes out. And Dauntless can do that because Dauntless is essentially Monster Hunter. I said this before, it's at its core because right now there's so much extra stuff in Monster Hunter World that it kind of distracts you from the actual thing. Hey, yeah, there's a monster, I have to go kill it. And Dauntless is essentially pick your weapon, we're going to take you, and you and your three buddies go and kill this thing. Cut its tail off, do damage to it, get some gear. And so people waiting for Monster Hunter World will be able to play this game and say, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. And it can scratch that itch. And it can be potentially something more than that it will bring in people to the genre that weren't a part of it before. Since Dauntless is a free-to-play game, a lot of people who own computers don't really like to buy games. You can go onto Steam and see how many free-to-play games there are. Obviously, there are microtransactions, and this game is no different, but you're able to go and see, hey, there's millions of downloads for Paladins, and there's millions of downloads for Dota 2 and League of Legends. All these games are free, and Dauntless is no different. So people are going to come and install it, and they get it, and then they play it, and they love it. And then but Dauntless right now is understandably lacking compared to Monster Hunter, since Monster Hunter and Capcom have about a 10-year lead over Phoenix Labs. And so they are able to implement so many more mechanics and so many more weapons and so many more different monsters than Phoenix Labs. But that's understandable. Like anybody who has a 10-year lead on someone else, they're going to have way more than what the other company has. And they're not really even going to consider them competition until it gets bigger. And right now, Monster Hunter is kind of in an unusual place in my mind because from what I've seen from Gamescom and what I've seen from E3 is that there's so much extra stuff in the game that Monster Hunter World kind of distracts from actually hunting monsters. Because from what I can tell, yeah, you get your sword, but now you also have your slingshot, right? And now you see people running around the map throwing their slingshot at rocks, making all the rocks fall on the monster, or distracting them with the monster. And then there's the mantle where you sneak around, and then there's the point where you pay cats to essentially catch the monster and hold it for you. And there are all these other things that are like, there's so much stuff to do that Dauntless is plain and simple the base of what it is, and it's amazing. But that's the thing that's worrying about me about Monster Hunter is that it's so much extra stuff, so much extra fluff that I'm not going to say anything yet, obviously, because it's not even out yet. There's not even a demo for it. But people who play Monster Hunter and they say, I just want to get back to the base of what the game is, and they can go play Dauntless, and that's exactly what it is. Or people who are playing Dauntless can say, hey, this game is awesome, but I wish it was deeper, and I wish there were more weapons, and I wish there were other things to do, and then that's where Monster Hunter comes in, right? So the two are able to complement each other very well, and they're able to fill the niche that the other one can't really fill at the time. And some people ask me, hey, Monster Hunter World or Dauntless. And the thing is, you don't have to pick. It's like some people think that once you have one game, you cannot play another game, but that's not how the world is. You can play Dauntless and you can play Monster Hunter World. I intend on playing them both. It's not like I'm a hardcore Dauntless fan, so I can never touch Monster Hunter, or I've played Monster Hunter for 10 years, Dauntless is beneath me. It's, hey, I can play both games. And that's fine, and that's awesome because it builds the genre and it potentially makes things way better. And those are just my thoughts on essentially what Dauntless is and how you can go about getting into Dauntless and why it's important for there to be two games that are similar, and hopefully it opens up the genre more. And it's just so good to me in my mind. And so I'm going to start doing these videos more and more and trying to explain to people what Dauntless is, why they should play it, the differences between Monster Hunter and Dauntless, and just to help answer any questions on people who don't really understand why Dauntless is so important to what is now a brand new genre and no longer just a game series by Capcom. So yeah, let me know what you think. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below. If you like it, give me a like. If you hated it, then dislike it and tell me, yeah, you suck. You should learn to have better thoughts, think better. And then I'm going to just keep doing these videos unless I get a super overwhelming, no, these things are awful and you need to stop. So I will see you next time, guys.